This morning, the governor of Texas is asking the state Supreme Court to remove the Democratic caucus chair from office from the Texas House because he and other Democrats fled Texas to block a vote on redrawing the Texas congressional map. President Trump also weighing in, accusing Democrats of abandoning the state.
Should the FBI get involved?
Well, they may have to. They may have to. No, I know they want him back. Not only the attorney general, the governor wants him back. If you look, I mean, the governor of Texas is demanding they come back. So a lot of people are demanding they come back. You can't just sit it out.
All right, let's get right to CNN's Ed Lavandera in Austin, where now the president says maybe the FBI should get involved in.
Yeah, you know, we've been talking for the last several days about how this situation here continues to escalate, and really things continuing to head that way, John, as the governor, Greg Abbott, saying that he has requested from the Texas Supreme Court that the chairman of the Democratic caucus, Gene Wu, who's a representative from the Houston area, be removed from office. And then also Ken Paxton, the attorney general, who is also saying that the lawmakers have until Friday before they go to the courts here to have them removed, describe them as jet-setting runaways and that they are rogue lawmakers, and on that basis, and saying that they have essentially vacated their seats. Now, Democrats vehemently are pushing back against this. They describe this as bluster, hollow threats that the Republican governor and attorney general don't have a legal leg to stand on here in this particular situation. This is what Gene Wu told CNN last night.
What we're looking at is a governor who is conspiring with a disgraced president to use unconstitutional, illegal racial gerrymandering to destroy our communities. I have a duty to respond to that. I have an obligation to do everything I can to stop that using every legal means necessary.
John, every indication we have so far is that Democrats are not going to come back despite this Friday deadline. Friday is also the next time that the Texas House of Representatives is going to try to reconvene and make a full quorum. And again, every indication we have so far is that by then, Texas Democrats will not be returning to Texas. There's a little under 2 weeks left in this special legislative session. And what we've heard repeatedly from Democrats is that they're willing to stay away from this legislative process at least that long.
Is this going to become a nationwide gerrymandering free-for-all ahead of the midterm elections? You've got state leaders in both parties threatening to claim more congressional seats by rewriting their voter maps. Indiana could be up next. As we mentioned earlier, J.D. Vance travels there today. But while talking to reporters Tuesday, the governor there hinted about what could be on the agenda.
It's exploratory, so there's been no commitments made. It looks like it's going to happen across many Republican states, and I think that my observation would be that the folks raising the most cane about it are the ones that have gerrymandered their own states.
So what does this mean for your vote? David Daley is the author of the book Rat Effed, Why Your Vote Doesn't Count. He joins me now. David, that's a pretty intense name for a book about gerrymandering and redistricting. What do you, to be honest, I want to talk about the fact that the Supreme Court ruling in 2019 kind of pulled the guardrails from this, right? But in part, the court said, look, in recent years, there's been redistricting commissions and people seem to be taking care of what is a political process. Why did things regress so quickly?
That's right. The court actually accidentally, perhaps, signed the death warrant for those reform movements when they, in 2019, closed the federal courts to partisan gerrymandering claims. What they said was that the federal courts would no longer be available to police the bad behavior of politicians. And what we're seeing across the country right now is that politicians behave terribly when it comes to redistricting. It is so important. The power to draw lines is the power to pick winners and losers. And we need a national solution. As we see this spiral from state to state, this can either spiral down to the bottom or we can have a national solution. And John Roberts and the court closed that possibility off at exactly the moment that federal judges appointed by both presidents, looked at gerrymanders drawn by both parties, by Democrats in Maryland, by Republicans in Wisconsin, North Carolina, Ohio, and Michigan, and said, we have the tools we need to fix this. John Roberts said, no, that math doesn't work. It's sociological gobbledygook, closed the federal courts, and here we are.
I want to play a clip of Governor Pritzker from Illinois talking about how, well, look, Democrats have to do this now, too. Here's what he said.
Here in the state of Illinois, it is possible to redistrict. It's not something that I want to do. It's not something that any of us want to have to do. There are no rules anymore, apparently. And so we're going to have to play by the set of rules that, well, that are being set out in front of us, which, frankly, none of us believes is the right way to operate.
Are there no rules when it comes to redistricting, gerrymandering anymore?
Thanks to the court, that is perhaps the case. That's a little bit rich coming from Governor Pritzker, who in 2021 gerrymandered his own state for the Democrats. Democrats have a 14-3 advantage there. They get 52% of the two-party popular vote in 2024. They got 83% of the seats. And that really is the problem that Democratic governors face right now. They are talking tough for their base about needing to do something about this, but they fired off most of their ammunition back in 2021 when they redrew Maryland and Oregon and New Mexico and certainly Illinois. If Democrats want to do something about this right now, they don't have a lot of opportunities and targets, and that's the big problem.
And if you're a voter right now, what do we do? This is just ahead of midterms. Are we calling our lawmakers and saying stop? Are we this is a weird moment of feeling kind of helpless.
I think that is right. 435 House districts, only 37 of them back in 2024 were within 5%. So most of us, about 90% of us, do not live in a competitive district. The good news about all of this is that voters hate partisan gerrymandering. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, a Republican, an independent. There's a new poll out this week that shows 60% of Democrats, high 50s on Republicans and independents, all still favor the idea of independent commissions, taking this power to draw lines away from politicians, putting it in the hands of people and nonpartisan commissions. I think that's one reason why what Texas Democrats are doing right now is so effective. They're out making good trouble, as John Lewis once said, right? They are really speaking with moral clarity about what is at stake when these lines get drawn for everybody. Because this is a national fight. If Texas Republicans are able to add 5 additional seats, that's a big change for the entire country in the battle for Congress in the midterms in 2026.
David Daley, author of the book Rat Effed: Why Your Vote Doesn't Count. We're going to keep reaching out to you. Thanks so much.